Good morning, mindful performers. Thank you for being here this morning. Today's topic is how do we stay motivated on or in our practice when things have settled down? And what I mean by that is there's a little bit of predictability to someone's path of self-improvement. Now, everyone experiences it differently. In fact, if you talk to people that you meet at workshops or at the yoga community, you'll see that everyone's story can be drastically different. There's a few things I've noticed that are relatively common when it comes to this path of self-improvement. So those things are, we immediately notice a sense of improved self-awareness. We feel better about things. We're happier in general. And other people notice. People actually can tell that you're doing something differently when you've started meditating, when you've started working out, when you've started eating better. Whenever you start on this path, people take notice. Now that's good, and sometimes it can be perceived as bad, because one of the next things that happens is that people that no longer resonate with our new way of life tend to fall away. So you'll notice that there's people that just no longer show up. They no longer ask you for lunch. They no longer want to meet you for lunch. And there's also people that you no longer really want to be around. It'll go both directions. Sometimes you won't want to be around them. Sometimes they just won't show up. They won't be around. And that's okay, because we're making drastic changes in our lives oftentimes. And so there's certain people that aren't ready to make those changes with us or to keep up with us. The next thing that hopefully occurs to help us stay motivated is we find a new sense of community. And that could be through church, if we're progressing down our spiritual path through religion. It can be through a community center. It could be through our gym. It could be through a yoga center. It could be through workshops and people that we meet at workshops. Regardless of the source, there's usually a community that starts to form of like-minded individuals, people that you can talk to, people that you can relate to, people that you can bounce ideas off of as you progress in your journey. I am speaking specifically today about meditation, but I think any journey that includes prayer or meditation, self-reflection, sitting down and journaling and really looking inward would benefit from today's topic. So that's the next thing that occurs, is a new sense of community, and this is important. So if you've started on this path and you haven't found a new community, I would encourage you to look for other groups or classes or anything that would allow you to meet new people that you can talk to, that you can discuss things with. The next step that often happens is we start reevaluating things in our lives. We reevaluate patterns, we reevaluate habits, we reevaluate relationships, and we start looking at those very closely. We look at the way we act, the way we think, the way we behave, and we start making changes, and we start looking inward. And then the last thing that occurs, and this may be what I would call the end of the beginning, because there's so much that happens after this initial sort of introduction to a more mindful way of being. But this last thing, the end of the beginning, is that things start evening out. So the lows, or the things that would occur in your life that would have brought you way down and made you very sad and very upset in the past, no longer bring you so far down, which is great. That's what we were striving for. Less stress, improved mood, not these deep, deep lows. The other thing is that the high highs, the things that would have gotten you ecstatically excited, whatever it is, a new car, a new job, those things are taken in stride. They don't peak as high as they did before, which is also a good thing when we look at it. But when we're in the mix and we're going through our lives and we're working and we're in our relationships and we're dealing with our health or making sure that we stay on a healthy path, as we go through all of these pieces, it's easy to lose sight of, like, why did I start meditating? Why did I start this path in the first place? Because you get it in this even space where you're like, well, okay, yeah, this isn't that bad. This is okay. I'm all right. And then something good happens and you're like, all right, that's good too. And then but then you start thinking, okay, well, where's the good? Where's that bliss that I used to get when I first meditated? And the fact of the matter is, for me, that I really need to start asking questions, whether it's to myself, whether it's to a higher power, whether it's masterminding with, other teachers that I know out there, just kind of, bouncing ideas off of what I think they would say. This is something Napoleon Hill talks a lot about. But however you get the answers or however you ask the questions, it doesn't matter. As long as you start asking and then listening. And one of the things that came in for me this week specifically was that the reason we started this practice was the same reason most people started it. I'll back up. The reason we started this practice, it might have been because we were stressed. It might have been because we wanted to be more creative. Maybe we were dealing with a health issue that we wanted help with. And then, or maybe we started because we're like, man, I want to get enlightened. I think most of us started because of one of the former reasons, not probably the latter. I could be wrong. And I think the vast majority of people are starting because they want less stress, something more in tune with, a health reason. But as we go down the path and as we learn more from different teachers, whether it's a spiritual teacher like, Christ or Buddha, or whether it's a yoga teacher or whoever you resonate with that starts teaching you how to meditate, how to look inward, the underlying premise of it all is love and compassion. Love. And so as I questioned this week, like, where's the highs, where's the lows? Like, is that what I want? No, it's not what I want. Those times are, they were great when they were occurring, but it was a lot of stress. It wasn't an enjoyable way of living. So as I questioned that, what came in about why I'm continuing my practice and why I teach, it was to learn that we should put that love and compassion into everything we do. Everything we do. And I think this is probably a form of yoga in and of itself, or a form of meditation in and of itself. But, drinking a cup of tea. How do you drink a cup of tea with love? Usually we just slam hot water in here, we put a tea bag in here, and, we're just, hey, this is kind of decent tea. I just need my caffeine in the morning. What if we truly made an effort to love the act, or do the act with love? I think it just depends on how your mind works, on how you can actually instill that into the behavior. It was actually yesterday I was at work, still questioning, but getting some realization around, what am I doing? Why am I, doing it? Why am I where I'm at? It was, you are learning to do these things with love. Even creating a spreadsheet at work. Like, do this with love. Don't just slough it off or do it quick, but enjoy it. Enjoy all the skills, all the background, all the experience that had to occur so that you could do what you're doing in that moment. For this cup of tea, look at all the things that had to come together for this cup to be made. And then for my dad and stepmom to buy me this as a gift. And then for this wonderful tea to be in my home because my wife had decided to switch from coffee to tea for a brief period of time. And so I still have this amazing tea in here to actually drink. And then to feel its warmth, to cool it down by blowing, to sip it, to feel the warmth all the way down my throat, into my belly. I mean, there's so much that can be observed with understanding, with conscious thought, and of course, what's not to love when you start breaking it down like that. That was today's topic. I hope it was useful. I was having a conversation at lunch with somebody that spurred this topic because we were really, we both meditate a lot. We both do a lot of inner work, and we were sitting there kind of going, yeah, what else? What else, man? What else do we do? And so I started asking the questions, and that's what came in. I hope today's topic was useful. please be sure to check out the meditation that went with today's topic. Subscribe to be notified of new videos. Click thumbs up if this video was helpful to you. And don't forget to eat your cantaloupe.